Little public service announcement here that Pittsburgh Automotive, which is the Harbor Freight brand, has a radiator pressure test kit on an early Black Friday sale for $70, which is pretty good. You can normally rent these kits from O'Reilly's or AutoZone or all the other parts stores here, but I actually went on a wild goose chase today at a bunch of different stores trying to find it, and no one seemed to have it in stock. And I figured it's just easier to buy it for $70 than to try and rent it and drive all around town. So if you're not familiar with this tool, it's used to pressurize your coolant system to try and find coolant leaks. So it comes in this case, little vague instruction sheet, but it has a bunch of these different adapters which are just designed to clip onto different styles of radiators. And then it has a hand pump that you can pump, think like, a bike pump or a pump that you would use to inflate, say, a football, something like that. And it has a little gauge on it, and you just pressurize the system and then you look for coolant leaks. So you'll have to just ignore the fact that I got my overflow reservoir kind of off to the side right here. I took the fan shroud out so I could see a little bit better and try and inspect for leaks on the radiator. And I'm just going to set the camera here so you can kind of see. It's just a pump and a gauge, and I'm going to pressurize it and pump it. Now in my situation, you can see that the needle is bleeding down pretty quick, which means that it's not really holding pressure. I've got a pretty substantial leak where it's just not going to stay pressurized. Now normally you would just look for a steady stream of coolant coming out, but that's not always the case. I did look around here at the heater core hoses and where they go back to the engine block and try and look for coolant leaking out here. But keep in mind, sometimes if there's air in your system, it might not actually squirt coolant out. So I like to use just a spray bottle of soapy water, and you just spray it at the joints of different hoses and you look for bubbles. So here's my upper radiator hose, and you can see those air bubbles coming out. That's a good indication that that upper radiator hose is not holding pressure, even though I've tried to cinch it down with the worm gear clamp, and I even tried with the stock clamps as well. And same thing over here. So there might be other coolant leaks somewhere else in the system that I'm not aware of yet. But moral of the story is, until I get this upper hose taken care of, I'm not going to be able to find the next weakest link in the system. So if you've ever been battling coolant leaks and trying to diagnose, what it is, you might want to look into this Automotive radiator pressure kit from Harbor Freight on the early Black Friday sale. Thanks for watching.